I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Welcome to the Stop and Listen podcast. I'm your host, Jamie.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Well, happy Friday, folks. The weekend is here, and I hope everyone has great plans. The weather here, where I live in Missouri, has just been amazing.
Did you want to talk about the weather, or were you just making chit chat?
Still work the eastern part of the country, or large sections of it, aren't doing so hot, and turns out they're on their own. That's why living in cities, like, apparently they've been saying that the more left-leaning cities are getting more help from the government with the damage from hurricane. What is it now? The hurricane. I don't know why we got to give people's names. The hurricane. I find that odd. And if you live in a area like that, I mean, if you live in a city or so forth, like you are putting your life in the hands of the government if a natural disaster would happen to happen. Like me, myself, I don't know, if shit went down, I'd hit the railroad tracks and I would head west, and that should take me very close to family, and hopefully I'd be open with welcome arms there. You never know. So this is insane. It's just every day. I mean, right now, a lot of the talk is that Doug Emhoff, Harris's husband, slapped a woman around, allegedly. I don't. It's coming from the Daily Mail, so it's not coming from a conservative news source. That's fine. And it's like I was listening to Megyn Kelly for a while today, and like her and another woman were talking about it. That's all they were talking about for a while, at least. And I turned it off. It'll never be covered by the mainstream news. It never will be. So, okay, maybe Fox News. A handful of women watch Fox News will have second thoughts. And I guess that's what we're talking. We're talking about fractions of a point now. That's fractions of a point here, fractions of a point there. That's why, the pandering is so intense. And I have not been in the best mood over the last week, and not very motivated on this podcast. Things are actually going really good on X for me, relatively. I mean, higher and higher profile people keep following me. And YouTube is not showing me, so I don't know if you're gonna see this or not. But I got some shit to say at the end of this episode. But let's just dive into the news. So Secretary Anthony Blinken, I just seen this, said the U.S. is at the forefront of humanitarian response to the growing crisis in Lebanon, announcing nearly $157 million in assistance today. We are committed to supporting those in need and delivering essential aid to displaced civilians, refugees, and communities hosting them. And Colin Rugg shows the devastation from the hurricanes. Just completely leveled everything, just took the towns out, nothing left. Especially in the mountains where the flash flooding, there's just all the water came rushing down the mountains, nowhere for it to go, unprecedented. I mean, actually, no, it's not. Like Asheville got wiped out, and that was wiped out 100 years ago. So this stuff, it's not climate change. There's no evidence for that. Not that we shouldn't, try. And try. Okay, I'm back. I got this computer. It works. It functions really well. He said the battery lasts 20 minutes. Am I recording? You always got to check, folks. Our government is horrible. All of it. Nina Turner, left-wing radical. If our government has money for bombs, they have money for reparations. So I had a question. A couple of them. So how do you figure that out? Who gets what? So biracial people I mean, they're not going to get as full as much as like a darker person, right? Like, how? So, like, how do you figure out the percentage? Because just because, like, if you have a tenth, like, there has to be some sort of percentage level of which you're entitled to it. But then it's like, okay, if you meet that threshold, you get the full amount, or it's all based on how much percentage of blackness you have? Is that how we're doing it? It's like DNA test. And I ask her, isn't that actually declaring people unequal? It's like, you over there, you have the skin color that deserves reparations. Isn't we are all God's children? I'm above no man, and nor below any man. I mean, people in this world certainly make us feel otherwise, but that is the case. We are all equal under the eyes of God. I seen this. This was cool. Kind of a nice moment.
All right, so we have my baby opening up his first check. He says it's gonna be $200.
200 something, man.
200 and something. So here we go.
What we looking at here? I'm trying to be careful with it.
That's not the shirt you wore to work.
No, I was wrong about that.
Oh.
They gave me another one, so now I got 3 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Man, goddamn, let me get
So you weren't allowed to wear the t-shirt?
No, I wasn't allowed to do that.
Oh.
Let me see what this is. That's $283.
Oh.
After tax, what's that?
That is after tax. Hey, you got some money.
Shoot. That's hard. All right, bet. Let's take it to the bank then.
That is beautiful. That is a beautiful moment caught on camera, and I thank that lady for sharing it. That's what the value of hard work. Like being handed money is not good for anyone. I mean, I just think now it's like I have not lived a very smart up until recently. We're not having plans for the future. Like I kind of thought. I mean, I wasn't reckless about it. I mean, I was actually reckless in action, but not in thought. Like I was like, well, something's going to change. Like I had goal. I was going to be a famous writer by this point in my life. I didn't need that stuff. No, I'm working on it, and I'll be fine either way. Even if I don't have if I don't have that kind of growth, I'll still be. If I go here, I'll be okay. There's even. I mean, there's the opportunity, the potential where I might inherit a little money in the future. I don't like if I need it. If I need it at that point, it's not going to feel very good. I hope I can just say, you know what, I'm good. But that's what you do when you don't save, when you don't work. You can't say, you know what, I'm good. I don't want that. So think about that. I guess I don't need to save this one. I mean, I'm not going to rewatch it, but it's just awesome. So The Guardian, J.D. Vance is the hand-picked leader of the anti-democracy movement in America that could be elected to he was elected a senator, and then he was handpicked by Trump to win the upcoming presidential election. I'm not too sure where the anti-democracy comes. Do you think we should read it? Do you think there's Robert Reich? I'm sure I've heard the name before. In fact, that he includes that in his headline. He must be something special. I think he is. We're probably not going to learn too much from that. So KSDK News. Channel 5, locally here in St. Louis, says some people online suggested FBI statistics aren't reliable because law enforcement agencies in many large cities didn't report their crime data. That's not true. That is a blatant lie. That is a blatant lie that Kamala Harris should have to pay them to run that. That is free advertising for Kamala Harris. See, in this one, Lady Gaga and Hillary Clinton say they will leave the United States if Donald Trump becomes president. That's fantastic. Like, and I would actually like. I mean, we hear that every election cycle, and I really wish someone would actually do it. Like Rosie O'Donnell, I think said that the first time Trump was elected, and she's still here. She gets on there all gruff and shit, but like she just sends out these videos of her like despondent, like depressed, about to kill herself, seemingly. Rosie. Maybe you should start your own show again. You know, put the production on yourself. Start dancing and shit like you used to. Maybe that'll help your mood. Libs of TikTok said that they posted about this. Politico, talking about the evil beard of J.D. Vance. You know, that's a great thing. We need more beards. We need to move in a time of beards.
No more bullshit.
Hey, Cap, you know I'm cool, but I can take no responsibility for these white devils.
So Elizabeth Warren, she said that you might hear this from J.D. Vance tonight. This was the night of the debate. You might not hear this from J.D. Vance tonight because he's trying to win an election. But let's remember, he wrote a letter to the Department of Justice telling them to enforce the Comstock Act and restrict abortion access across the country in red states and blue states. And my response was, like, I cannot believe it. That in 2024... there's somebody who actually does not support killing babies. You know, it's crazy, right? But no, it's not crazy. I don't know what it's going to look like, and this is not going to turn into a podcast about abortion, but it's time for me to get active. It's just crazy. Elon Musk said, Community Note Hall of Fame. Hezbollah is the victor. According to some guy. Some guy. And then there's a reader's note. It says, the entire Hezbollah leadership, including Nasrallah, has been eliminated. Is that Nasrallah? I don't think it is. Oh, here's Nina Turner again. Wanting that reparations. Want that check. Someday I'm gonna have to just go through. I've got like so many bookmarks. I just need to eliminate all my bookmarks on the Twitter, on the X. I wonder, and like if Elon's actually able to maintain ownership of X, for years. Are we still gonna call it Twitter? I probably will. X does not roll. X is nothing. X is a placeholder name, and that's not what I thought it was going to be. But
Does anybody have any idea about who or what this is?
I really don't know what to like. I don't have a theme. I didn't really. I could plan. I could like sometimes I've been planning this out a little bit more, at least arranging these. I haven't actually been bookmarking that much. And, I don't know if I talked about this last week, because last week I recorded one episode and then something happened and it got messed up. So I had to start over. And I don't know if I included this on the second version of it. But if not, I'll cover it again. So, former CDC Director Robert Redfield endorses Donald Trump. And Mr. Robert F. Kennedy, he got everything right.
Interesting that happened today, and I actually was going to mention this to Rand. So it was an extraordinary event to me, but Robert Redfield, who I really go after in my Fauci book, kind of a hammer and tongs, wrote an editorial in Newsweek magazine today saying that he was endorsing President Trump because President Trump was going to restore American health, and that President Trump, he said, a lot of people might surprise me to see this, but to say, hear me say this, but he has chosen exactly the only person who can do this, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This was breathtaking to me because this is the guy who's the head of the CDC that I've been criticizing for years. And then this afternoon he came over and had lunch with me. It's the first time I've ever met him. And the first thing he said to me is, "You got everything right."
Wow.
That's incredible, folks. Okay, folks, I just overcooked my dinner. So I had a pizza in the oven and got to talking to y'all, and yeah. Damn. Anyway, folks, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to air my personal grievances, but I just, you ever go to a party? That old adage, you ever go to a party and just wonder, would anyone even notice I'm not here? Well, and of course, what if it's a huge party, hundreds of people? What if you're not even invited to the party? That's what happened to me last weekend. And it's the same thing. I didn't necessarily want to go to the party all that much. I mean, I would have, but it's just the principle of it, I was talking to a good friend. I wasn't crying about it. At this point, it's just like, it is what it is. But I was talking to him and just kind of telling him, yeah. And I wasn't going on and on. I wasn't being super sad about it or nothing. Just kind of telling him. And I had about 30 seconds more of a story to tell, if that even. I was wrapping it up. And my good friend, who I've been friends with for almost 20 years, stops me. Hold on. Let me interrupt you real quick. And then he just starts talking about himself. Not like his own problems. That would be understandable. I mean, give and take in a conversation. That's how things get flowing and get good. But no, it was he just didn't want to hear me anymore. Okay. And then I had talked about some stuff, and I was talking about I started kind of shifting to faith. This man is a Christian like myself, and literally talking about God, talking about faith, talking about the Bible. And again, he just stops the conversation and starts talking about himself again. It's like, dude, it's important to be there for people. Some people need to talk about themselves. I do not think I would be here right now if I didn't have some incredible people in some very dark times to talk about myself. And those people were so unselfish, were so caring, so loving. Fortunately, one of those people is no longer with us, and the other person, I feel like they changed. I don't have that person in my life anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I try to be a good Christian. And I don't beat other people over the head with it. But I don't know, folks. There's so much to be optimistic about. So much goodness in the world. Even in my life. I mean, I'm not dating anyone. I haven't been on a date for a year. And I don't even know where to find one. I can get online and tonight, Friday, it's okay. Go. My mindset was to go home, I had to work, shower, go out, and just sit at a bar, have a meal, have a beer, and maybe you make some friends at a bar with some strangers, I'm going to be back there, partying all day, night, but because I don't want to walk into a busy bar 7, I don't do that. I can be there, it's and it gets busy around me, that's okay. But I came home and all right, I'm gonna sit down for a second. I turned on a YouTube video and I was asleep, and I took a little bit of a nap, jumped in the shower, and I was like, okay. Now it's after 7. Which I know, like, if you guys live in other parts of the world, countries, like, I don't, 7? Really? 7? Around here, 7, it's like, that's not where, like, it's not where things get busy, but it's like, that's, if you're going out to dinner on a Saturday or a Friday night, you're there by 7, you know? So I want to slide in there before that, but it didn't happen today. Ran to the grocery store, got some dinner, and then I burnt it. So, I don't know, folks. I know I'm rambling here, but I appreciate what you have. Be a kind ear to people. I don't know what to say, honestly. Just, if someone loves you, if someone cares for you, if someone is there, treasure that. Don't take it for granted. It can be gone like that. I said, the two people who got me through really rough times, my grandmother who's passed on, and a friend that changed. And I got the other friend I mentioned, and see, being a Christian, a true Christian, is a burden. It would probably be easier and more comforting if I could just harden my heart and say to hell with them and just worry about satisfying my own wants and needs and desires. But I can't. I have to hope that God changes the heart of those people like that changed me. I have to hope that God changes the heart of the people who have hurt me like God has changed my heart. Certainly has. Or maybe I'm just a narcissist as well. And I can't see why I'm surrounded with people like this. You know? It is what it is, folks. Love big. Love big. I told you a few weeks ago when I actually made a point to give my niece a big, good hug when I've been just doing those half-assed little lean down and give her a little hug for a while now. And I said, "What the hell with it?" And I reached in, and since then, God, she's been giving me incredible hugs. Incredible hugs. I missed a lot of really, really good hugs because I got lazy. Took for granted, I guess. And those hugs themselves could go away at any point. Like, I mean, she's a kid now. She can't run too far from me, but at some point she's a few years from puberty, and she's a few years away from womanhood after that, and then hopefully motherhood, and it can all change so quickly, folks. So, love big, love without fear, love with recklessly. There's a lot of songs like that. Your Christian songs like "Love Recklessly." There's one, a big one like that. I forget what it's called. "Reckless Love," maybe. It's hard to say. I don't know. It's hard to say just love recklessly because you might not be able to handle the consequences of that when it's not reciprocated. It's not fun. So I will see y'all later. I am now, and I've finally, after months and months of this, have figured out how to get the abstract the audio from the final product of this and then post that on like Spotify and Apple iTunes or Apple Music or whatever. So that's cool. You can listen to me audio now, and I have to like kind of think of that as I'm talking, because it's probably not very good just simply auto. Because there is. So yeah, earlier, folks, if you're listening to the audio podcast, and I did not set up the scene very well when the young kid was opening up his first paycheck. I did not explain that well enough for you folks listening on audio. So I apologize for that. But hey, I will see you soon, folks. Maybe I don't know if I'm going to do another podcast this weekend or not, honestly. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. But remember, folks, the Lord spoke the universe into existence. What do you do with your voice? I'll see you next time.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!